to today's session. Today we have a very special guest with us who started in mechanical engineering in the year 1998, and he started with the ASME as a student member back in 1995. He is the chair of the international regions at the MDE Council, which is the Membership Development and Engagement Council. And the best part is that he's from the Asia Pacific region. He's from Singapore. Uh, Please welcome the forever young, the forever smiling Desmond Chong. Hi, Desmond.
Uh, hi, Usman. Thanks a lot for the kind introduction. So I hope to remain forever, ever young as what you mentioned.
You've been this way ever since I've been seeing you, Desmond. You're not
Okay,
aging
I
at
guess
all.
you are the same as well. It's always good to have this connection. I guess ASME is where we can actually get together, networking, and also explore a lot of collaborations, opportunities.
Indeed. So, Desmond, how did you become a mechanical engineer? What prompted you to become a mechanical engineer? How did it all start?
Right. In Singapore, right? I mean, as Usman's introduced, I'm actually based in Singapore. So when I was actually in my university education, I started my university education in NTU, Nanyang Technological University. So during then, there wasn't kind of like a specialization when we are a year one student. So when I first joined as a year one undergraduate, we were exposed to the three traditional specialization, in mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and civil engineering. So we get exposed to different kind of like labs in these three disciplines. And well, of course, I kind of like the mechanical engineering topics and all the hands-on activities and all those kind of testings the most. So that's where I kind of like started my specialization in mechanical engineering in my second year of undergraduate study. And since then, I know that yeah, I'm a mechanical engineer.
Oh, great. You know that. And tell us about your university days. What kind of student were you? What were your university days like? Were you the naughty one? Were you the nerd? Were you the funny one in your group? How were your
Oh, right.
university days?
Okay. Yes. I try not to be the nerd one, and I think definitely I'm not the naughty one. I just try to be as active, enjoying my undergraduate as a student. So the thing is that most of us, we know that, of course, engineering, I mean, in undergraduates is actually where we are there to kind of accumulate our knowledge and then to become a certified engineer. But to me, I actually quite spend a lot of time as probably in student activities. So during then, I was a active student leader. And in NTU in Singapore, I actually stayed in the hostel, which is a student accommodation. During then, I actually joined a lot of the kind of accommodation hall activities. So trying to expose myself as much to different kind of like organizing activities and management. So to some extent, kind of like I was telling my friends and peers, hey, I'm kind of like major in my co-curricular activities, and I'm actually minoring my study. So there's a kind of like the time that I kind of spend in university. But I really glad that I actually have a balanced life. I am not only focusing on study, but at the same time joining those committees. And I guess those are the time that kind of like brush up my skills in management or kind of leadership skills, or if not, try to just be as thick skin so that yeah, just to kind of like participate in any activities or take up any opportunities that comes by. Yeah, so that was my undergraduate days.
I think that's very important. So it explains how you became active in ASME. So it must be during your student days as well.
Yeah, yes. So the thing is that I always believe in probably is to get involved, in any community that we are in. So for me, when I was in a student accommodation, I thought that since I'm actually there, kind of spending most of my time, I want to be involved in the environment and the community. So same thing as ASME member. So I really kind of like value ASME as an opportunity, and we all know that ASME is a premier society and engineering society for mechanical engineering. So being a mechanical engineer, I want to associate myself with a society, and that's where I joined ASME. And hopefully becoming a ASME member, I hope to kind of be more involved and with the mechanical engineering community and also the society.
No, great words, Desmond. So moving on, how was your journey into the professional life? How did you reach your current role? And then do you have any regrets along the way? Do you think you could have done anything differently? So please tell us about your professional journey after you graduated.
Right. So I guess I hope that the viewers and the listeners actually in this particular video recording would kind of include students and also early career engineers. So myself, I actually started my career as an engineer in Motorola Electronics Singapore. So
Wow.
during then I was actually in the R&D department. So I started in the R&D department working in semiconductor semiconductor and microelectronics packaging kind of like area of work, and spending like 2.5 years in Motorola. Of course, definitely Motorola being an NMC is actually provide a lot of kind of technical grounding where I actually pick up a lot of experience, and I move on to a kind of local company in Singapore. It's not a SME, but it's actually pretty decent size as well. But being a local company, I guess that's where we have to kind of like in a way, the I would say the manpower or the resources are not as great compared to MNC. So there's a lot of things that we need to actually be in charge of. So I guess that's where I kind of like build up my kind of like expertise, and also in different areas. So I don't only do mechanical engineering, which is mechanics related work. And that's where I expanded to kind of like other work into thermal analysis and also electrical simulations. And not last but not least, I also have the opportunity to actually go into patents, looking into patent filings and patent analysis. So I spent kind of like 6 years in the industry. So I guess that actually builds a very good foundation for me when I decided to pursue a career in academic. So in academic, sometimes they say that, well, when you want to teach engineers, it is good that if you want to actually share your industry experience with the students that you are teaching. So I guess, with my industry experience, of course, limited of 6 years, I thought that it's actually benefited me very well. So even when I'm actually teaching in the university, the undergraduates, I can actually impart some of those knowledge. And of course, adding on to those academic research that I'm actually doing. So yeah, it's really a fulfilling career for me at the present moment. If you ask me, is there any regrets? No, definitely there's no regrets. No regrets being a mechanical engineer. And definitely it has been a fulfilling career journey for me, from industry, then turning into an academic.
Amazing. So you have the best of both worlds. You're coming in from the industry and then going on to the academia. That's interesting. That's the best combination, in my opinion. And do you have any intentions of going back to the industry, or are you?
Oh well, Usman, good question. It seems like this is my personal opinion. Probably is easier for you to transit from industry to an academic kind of like a career, but sometimes it's more difficult if someone want to actually transit back to the industry. So well, I kind of like, some people might be saying that because you have been spending in the industry for so long, the kind of like sense of touch in industry requirements you might have actually loosened a bit. So yeah, so maybe if you ask me at this point of time, probably I'm still comfortable, being an academic, and probably more importantly, probably seeing my role as to nurture currently the new generation or the next generation of engineers and leaders. So I kind of very comfortable with my current role, which I think is also an important one. So probably no plans of going back to industry at the moment.
Great. Okay. So once upon a time you were a student and now you're a teacher. So how do you relate yourself to students nowadays? How do you think, what has changed or what has stayed the same?
Right. So maybe I would like to say students are definitely students, and they are definitely students who are eager to learn. All right. So for those students who are eager to learn, definitely I will try to relate kind of like, based on you use my experience as a student, and probably share with them some of my industry experience and to guide them along. As I said, for students, in a way, when I kind of come across whether what is their inclination, whether do they kind of have inclination of actually joining the industry to do those more of like immediate kind of like solutions that can create the impact, for the society, or if they have the interest to do some form of research, I will kind of like to see what are their interests, and hopefully guide them along the way to see, to give them some pointers, so for whether they want to actually become, to be more kind of joining the industry, or they wanted to actually do more to become a researcher. So in a way, try to understand what are their needs and interests, and that's where I can actually find the better way or the best way to kind of like guide them and nurture them.
Oh, all right, perfect. That sounds good. So we know how you started out as an ASME member, being a student. So tell us about your involvement with ASME, how you started out, and how you reached your current role in ASME.
All right. Interestingly or kind of unfortunately, I was a student member in 1995, but during then I wasn't. I did not join the student section in NTU. So I wasn't really an active student section leader. But I actually spent more of my time in the accommodation kind of like activities. And so I only started off my involvement with ASME when I first joined the annual general meeting of Singapore section, which is the ASME Singapore section in 2002, yeah, if I can remember correctly. And also I attended the AGM, and I kind of know that what are during then, I think ASME Singapore section has been probably in existence for like 10 over years, right? So during the AGM, they actually share the kind of activities that they organize for the local members, which I thought that that is actually the kind of like the community or the exco that I hope to join, so that I can be part of the member to contribute and also to organize some of these activities. So I joined the exco in 2002. So during then I was co-opted into the exco, and I still remember I was given the role of the young engineers chair. Right, so as a young engineers chair, my purpose is really to actually organize activities that are actually pertaining to young engineers. So I guess now we call the early career engineers. All right. Yeah. So since then, I tried to organize some activities. Because during then, a lot of people are saying that for engineers, probably the engineers, we can really sit down and actually analyze things and actually come up with solutions. But one thing that we are kind of not very good is in terms of our presentation skills, of our public speaking kind of like skills. Maybe at least to in Singapore context. So I thought that then I should actually organize an event that I actually kind of partner with the Toastmasters Club. And with that, we organized one event trying to bring in early career engineers and also kind of final year students to see how these masters in Toastmasters Club present themselves. Wow, that was really an eye-opening event for me. So since then, I kind of get more involved in ASME Singapore section. And well, of course, I had the opportunity. Now, during then, we were at the district formation. So I can still remember that, ASME in the Singapore section is falling within the District G. As I guess Usman is also very familiar because we are all from the same District G, right? So during then, yes. So during then we have this annual meeting, and we also have this governing board that actually helps to oversee activities in Asia Pacific region. So I have the opportunity to involve at that district level. And of course, after kind of working there for like 1 or 2 years, I'm very fortunate, to gain the trust of the section leaders in that region. And I was, selected or appointed as the District G leader, trying to facilitate those activities and needs at the region. Well, I mean, for my current role, and probably you know that we are actually in the MDE sector now. MDE sector was only formed in, I think, January 2020, right? The predecessor of MDE was the GEC, which was the Group Engagement Committee. So around 2017, the ASME Board of Governors, the president find that there was actually a lack in terms of the support for our professional sections and our student sections and also our members. So we thought that there's a form of like the engagement level wasn't that good. So that's why the group engagement committee was formed. And so again, because of my involvement, I was in a way I'm very glad that the first the chair for the committee, John Mulvihill, he actually contacted me. Hey, since I have some experience, kind of coordinating Asia Pacific activities, would you want to take up the challenge and the role to help to oversee the international regions at this point in time? So I thought I take it a challenge and also a time for me to kind of like serve ASME, and that's where I take up the challenge. And from 2017 now till now, it's almost like 4 years in this role as the international regions chair.
Excellent. So Singapore section got you started with ASME, very organized section, very active section in Asia Pacific. Singapore section is to be commended for bringing you into ASME, for making you active in within ASME. And I like the word young engineers. So if there is still a young engineers club, you could still lead it. Desmond, you're forever young.
Oh well, I I hope to be forever young. But the age and the body really can't tell you that you're not longer young. But as I said, for my current role, I guess because of maybe I'm still in the university, so I really have a lot of chance to actually kind of like interact with the undergraduates, which are the students. When they graduate, they really become the young engineers or the early career engineers. So kind of like see both words and what are the needs of a student and also the needs of an early career engineer. And I think we also have to make sure that we need to support our senior members, because at different tiers, different levels, as a student, as an early career engineer, as a senior engineer, probably the requirements and the challenges are different. So I guess it's not only Singapore section, we do have a lot of active sections in Asia Pacific and also around the world, right? I mean, definitely for ASME Pakistan section, under your leadership, is also a active section. So I guess hopefully, from the professional sections, working together with the student sections in their country, we are able to provide a good engagement and also support for these 3 tiers of members that we have in ASME.
Excellent, excellent. So you seem very motivated about ASME, very charged up. What keeps you motivated with volunteering? What's the key factor for your motivation?
All right. So I guess for me, probably the passion and interest is definitely something, that I'm the one who is actually more active. I wanted to participate and give back. I think more importantly is I realized ASME, because of its vast network, right? So you can see that not ASME, of course, headquarters is based in US, in New York, but we have so many international sections, right? Around the world, we have come to like 30 or 40 international sections. So when we go to meeting, when you go to a meeting, you don't only kind of meet with engineers within your own country. You are actually meeting, your peers, your counterparts, your seniors, your juniors in different parts of the world. And I guess networking is something that I value a lot. And through networking, you can actually learn the culture and the differences that different countries, different people are working. That really helps to bring back to my work. So when I work, so I get to know that, hey, when I actually started on a project and I work with people, I need to know, to understand what are the differences, and kind of like the kind of different practices, different kind of management skills, management styles, I can actually incorporate in my working as well. So this is something that I really value, the experience, the networking and also the learning from different people. And with all this learning, it's really enhanced our experience, and we are able to deal with situations better. So I think that is really the values. And not only that, I guess ASME is very strong and rich in content, in technical content, right? So the various strategies that the technical committee or the technical sectors they actually come up with provides a very good guidance for myself, as a career, or actually for young engineers, for students to look forward to. And I think what I wanted to echo a lot of my peers that they said, the mechanical engineer, the magazine that I think it's mechanical engineering magazine, right? That is an excellent magazine, in terms of the technical content. If you have no time, if you are always specialized in your area, probably you're only exposed to this particular area. But when you read that mechanical engineering magazine, you are really kind of getting a lot of technical content. What are the cutting edge technologies that different industries are working in? So that is really, I think ASME definitely benefited me a lot. So it's time that I have to give back.
So great. So you see ASME as a complete package, left, right, up and down. It has so much to offer, and then everything is motivating you.
Yes,
So
yes.
one small question, but a big one. How do you see
All
the
right, okay.
how do you see the future of mechanical engineering?
Oh wow, this is I'll say this is a short question, but I think this is
Yeah,
a
it's a
big
short question,
question also,
but a
right?
big question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean for me, of course, I being a mechanical engineer, I kind of like realized that being a mechanical engineer, or mechanical engineering is actually very versatile. So we really kind of like the skills and the knowledge that we have actually cuts across a lot of different industries. And you can see that mechanical engineering has been in the frontiers of different types of current needs, like energy, water, transportations, healthcare, or like Internet of Things, advanced manufacturing. So I can say is that definitely the future of mechanical engineer or mechanical engineering is great. It's especially give us a lot of opportunities that we can explore. But of course, if you would ask me, I mean, there are, of course, we have the traditional kind of like specializations in mechanical engineering. So I guess when the problems or the kind of society or the globe is the issues are getting more and more complex, I guess a mechanical engineer also have to actually work closely with with disciplines. I mean, with engineers or engineering from different disciplines, and maybe not only engineering, and probably have to be a non-engineering as well. So I guess that's where you can make mechanical engineering to be as relevant to the society as possible.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So how do you see the future of technology in general in Asia Pacific and in Singapore? Do you think it's still going to be like microelectronics, semiconductors are going to dominate in this part of the world manufacturing, or is domain changing over here?
All right, right. You see, in terms of technology, I guess it, um, well, I mean, there are definitely different areas of technology. When we look to like electric vehicles or autonomous vehicles, and all those kind of like new technology, or even for healthcare, we are moving very much into telemedicine kind of application. And not only that, right? I guess we hear a lot about artificial intelligence, right? And in terms of machine learning, those kind of like new technologies, they are actually coming up. I suppose probably it's not only within Singapore and also Asia Pacific. I guess the whole world has to probably embrace technology, and in a way, probably the different countries probably would actually have their own niche in a certain area. So I guess with this kind of like focus and specialization, I think countries and regions can focus and bring the technology to the next level.
Yeah, great, great. So let's lighten up the mood a little bit. How do you spend your time beyond engineering, beyond your professional life? Tell us about your hobbies, and then how do you spend your pastime?
Uh, all right, so a lighter part of it, right? So you can see the virtual background that I have. That is the what do you call it, the Gardens by the Bay, right? But anyway, it's not to promote kind of a tourist attraction in Singapore, but I guess it's I mean probably it's the outdoor activities that I kind of wanted to spend my time with, rather than just spending time in the classroom, in facing the computer or in the labs. Well, I mean, out of the free time, I just want to make sure that I keep myself healthy, so I kind of jog and swim just to kind of like relax myself a bit. And of course, I have kids who are still pretty young, so yeah, so I bring them around to kind of like to exercise, right? And if you ask me something, well, okay, there's something new that I'm actually learning. I'm starting to learn more a bit about air plants.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
not sure whether how many of you are into air plants. Well, it is something that a plant that you don't need to actually be soil, is it? So Usman, you have something, is it?
It's an aeroplane.
Oh, oh, okay. No, yeah, it's not airplane. It's sorry, it's air plants.
Air
So
plant.
it's
Oh,
a
okay.
yeah air plants. Yeah, I'm sorry. So it's a plant that you can actually just survive itself in the air. It can actually grow without the need of actually soil. You
Oh,
see, so
okay.
my wife is into air plants. So yeah, I'm getting to learn a lot about this. I shouldn't say a lot, because I heard that from her that air plants, they have like 1,001 kind of species. One another, when I take a look at them, they appear the same to me, but to her, she can tell the difference. So
Ah,
this is something that I kind of learn a bit. Enjoy a bit of the greenery at home that I have, because of the different air plants that she's actually putting in my home. Yeah.
so it's different from hydroponics. Yeah, it's not like water
Uh,
based.
Oh yes, no, it's not. In a way, I think these are kind of not it's not edible. It's really more um, um, for the kind of like decoration. It's a kind of love for let's say for the greenery. Yeah. So yeah, that's how the air plant works.
So where do you like to swim, Desmond? You mentioned swimming. Do you swim in the sea or in the swimming pool?
Ah, oh well, I mean, Singapore is a small island. We are surrounded by sea. It's a good question. I used to swim I used to play, in the sea when I was young. But since I grew up, I haven't really have a dip in the sea. So I mean, in Singapore we have a lot of outdoor swimming pool. So that's where I actually have a dip in the pool. Yeah. So I mean, now my younger boy is also starting to learn swimming as well. So I bring him along to kind of like to get him to have a dip in the pool as well. Yes.
Yeah, I saw some fantastic photos of some rooftop swimming pools in Singapore,
Uh,
like the infinity pools.
oh,
Yeah, lots
yes,
of
yes. Oh, wow, wow. You
options.
can see that the infinity pool is just kind of like probably when I say on the right side of my backdrop. No, that is a Marina Bay
Yeah.
Sands.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably you can see part of the infinity pool there.
So that's where you like to swim. Yeah, now we know.
Yes, but no, I don't swim there. I don't swim there. I mean, I swim in my neighborhood swimming pool.
Okay. All right. So Desmond, how do you think, what do you think is the biggest challenge for early career engineers as they start their careers? Is it on a professional challenge for them or on a personal level? What is the biggest challenge for them when they join the workplace?
Um, all right. So maybe let's say at the personal level, I would think that, I mean, to me, because it seems that the technology advancement is kind of like fastest in terms of the rate of the technology advancement. A lot of things that the fundamentals that we teach in the university. Of course, I mean, by the time they actually graduated, some of the technologies would have actually advanced. You know, well, of course, what I'm saying is that in terms of the universities, we need to actually keep ourselves updated with the latest technology that we can actually teach them. So hopefully, when they graduated, they are equipped with the essential skills. Not only the technical knowledge, but I guess also the soft skills that they need to kind of like handle more of the uncertainties that we are facing in the current world. So I can see that in the current world, we have actually more and more challenges and also more disruptions. I mean, of course, COVID-19 is one, but with these disruptions, we see that there's also opportunities, right? So, when we're looking into our sections activities, a lot of time, what we say is that we wanted to have a face-to-face kind of like event. But because of pandemic, because of COVID-19, we are not able to do face-to-face, and that's where, the online platform is here. Having the online platform, I guess, is really an opportunity. You can see that myself in Singapore, Usman in Pakistan, we can have such a nice chat, right? So
Yeah.
I guess yeah, with the disruptions, hopefully come with opportunities. Mm, so for the young engineers, I would say that, well, make sure that you're ready for the new world. I would say, compared to myself like 20 years ago, probably the challenges are kind of like lesser, but now there are more challenges and also more disturbance. So I think as an engineer, we really need to anchor our strength and skills in certain area. Right, that is actually our bolts and nuts that we need to be in. But we need to actually have an open mind as well to explore different opportunities. And as we move along, I guess that's where we need to continue learning. And a lot of time people are saying in terms of lifelong learning, the skills that we learn now may be obsolete probably in a few years later. So we always have to embrace a
Mm.
new technology, and hopefully the lifelong learning will come. And yeah, so we have to keep on learning. So even for myself, I'm also now taking a part-time kind of like course just to make sure that I actually equip with some new skills that is going to be relevant to the current world.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for your guidelines. And I think a lot of the gaps that are left out by the academic institutions are filled in by ASME in providing opportunities to young engineers, early career engineers for soft skills, for keeping up to date with new skills, with new competitions.
Yeah, exactly. You are right. You hit on the nail. I guess for ASME, of course, under the NDE sector, we are really more focusing on members engagement and also development, but development probably within the ASME, because no matter what, ASME is a big organization. We need to have leaders to actually take up various roles. So that is of course, the main charter for MDE. But we have another sector, which is the TEC, the technical events and contents sector, and that's where the sector that actually builds up the technical content. So either if you go into to the website to look into what are the latest technologies, or in terms of attending the technical conference that they have. Yeah. So I guess those are the chances that all of us can actually pick up new technologies, and we can actually learn from the experts all around the world to learn some of these new skills. Because I think from the TEC sector, with all the conferences that they organize, you can see that different experts are coming in to share their knowledge. So once you attend a conference, I guess you will be able to learn a lot from the experts. So Usman, you're right. Universities can only provide a certain kind of like level of knowledge, but once they graduated, they are on their own, and so the kind of like instinct that they are able to kind of like keep on learning, lifelong learning is important. So ASME is definitely a form of good information, because I know that ASME, we organize a lot of conferences, trainings, and also webinars. So more and more of these webinars are kind of like complementary, all thanks to all the online technologies that we have.
Yeah, that's great. That's a new horizon of opportunities that has opened up.
Correct.
So,
correct.
Desmond, you have been volunteering with ASME for almost 2 decades now, and do you have any specific favorite memories about volunteering and any fun experiences along the way?
Right. Definitely there are a lot of favorite, memories that I have, when I was serving ASME. So maybe, as I said, because I started off with the local section. So for Singapore section, we actually celebrated our 20th anniversary, and also 30th anniversary. So I was very fortunate to be able to be involved, as the organizing committee for this 20th and 30th anniversary celebration. So of course, we Singapore section, we celebrated our 30th anniversary only, I think, last year, 2020. All right. So because of the pandemic, we were only able to organize it over Zoom online. But when we celebrated our 20th anniversary, that was 2010. That was a time that we were able to kind of organize a gala dinner, and we actually organized a technical symposium as well. So I guess it's actually through all these things we get to see past, past members and leaders of ASME Singapore section. They come together to share their memories, how they actually started ASME Singapore section. So now we can see that they are passing the baton to the new leadership. I guess that is always a good memory that I have. Of course, that is for the local section. But as you see, I also kind of involved in the regional level. And and when I was in the district level, I will definitely value the opportunity where there was a time where we can actually have our kind of regional meeting. We get to have a face-to-face meeting with section leaders from different countries. Those are the things that I guess a lot of fond memories that I have. And when I look back, all the pictures, those are definitely great memories that I have serving ASME.
Oh yes, the meetings were always fun, and I look forward to having them back soon after this
Yeah,
pandemic
exactly.
goes away.
Yes.
Yeah. So Desmond, in the end, would you like to give some advice to students and early career engineers?
All right. So in terms of advice to the students and early career engineers, I guess it's the
How do you
same
explain
advice,
the
I guess.
benefits of ASME to them? Like how would you explain the benefits of ASME and
All
everything?
right. Okay. Yes. So if let's say, especially for the students and the early career engineers, I guess when you are kind of in a school or started work, it's always keep an open mind for opportunities to come. So I guess any opportunities probably we take it as any challenges that come, probably we should take it as an opportunity. And once you actually kind of graduated, and I think especially when the students graduated into the early career kind of like a phase, they will be busy building up their career, right? So when they are building out their career, I really encourage them to keep on involved in ASME, because in terms of the networking, I guess the kind of networking opportunities, and also the leadership or the mentorship that probably you actually receive from your seniors, it's going to be very valuable when you actually bring in to your own career, when you're starting. All the soft skills are important. And during your early career kind of like phase, you may be meeting some ASME members who are in your same industries, so you will be able to get some guidance from them as well, right? So I hope that in terms of ASME, if you're involving in ASME, let's say more involved in activities, ASME provides trainings at different levels, whether it's at student level, at early career levels, also in senior engineers levels. So I believe all these trainings will be useful not only as your personal development and also for technical development. So I really kind of encourage students at late career, when you kind of like graduated, please continue your membership with ASME. All right, and I think last but not least, what we are saying is that we really value the contributions. So do consider coming back to actually serve your local sections. The local sections need you.
Very well said, Desmond. Couldn't have been better advice for the students in early career engineers. Well, Desmond, it's
Sure.
always great to connect with you. Thank you for your time. I know you're a very busy man, and then thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule for this interview. I'm really grateful to you. Thank you for joining
No,
me.
I mean, sure. I mean, thanks a lot again, Usman. Thanks a lot for your invitation, and of course for your leadership in leading the Asia Pacific region. And I know that this is an initiative that's actually put up by your region leadership team, and also is as part of the newsletter. Yeah. So I really wanted to kind of like thank yourself and also the region leadership team for actually putting this newsletter initiative together. And also like to actually see more good initiative that you're going to kind of like facilitate for the Asia Pacific region. So thank you to you, for your leadership and for your hard work, and also to the RGL, to the region leadership team.
Thank you. Thank you for your appreciation. Thank you very much, Desmond.
All right. Okay. So have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Take care and have a good week and a good day.